There is just one lingering question this movie has to ask. Why is it called Joyride? They're not really going for a ride, and the joy is found at the end and throughout parts of it, but then other parts it's really bad. Apparently, because that was the lingering question apparently a lot of people has. Like, there's really no reason to call this Joyride. Apparently, there was actually a very different name for this movie. I think it was like Sisterhood of like the Blowjob Club or something like that. I'm not joking about that at all, by the way. So I think Joyride was just like this name they had available for it. I saw this last night. I'm a day behind. Honestly, there was no real reason for me to feel the need to. As long as I get the review out the weekend of, it's all good. But this film stars Ashley Park, Sherry Cola, Stephanie Hsu, and Sabrina Wu, as well as a couple other, plenty of characters show up. Basically, they are childhood friends, grew up. She was, Audrey is the name of the character Ashley Park plays. Audrey is adopted, goes on a business trip, and is ultimately convinced to find her birth mom from her friend Lolo, who's played by Sherry. And that's the movie, more or less. They also, they have some friends. Kat, who is an actress, who is a former roommate of Audrey, and Deadeye, who is a quirky cousin obsessed with Lolo's quirky cousin obsessed with K-pop, as I'm reading here from the Wikipedia description. And the hijinks ensue. So, look, this is not. Comedies are a tricky endeavor to review because you want to talk about a lot of the jokes and what worked and what didn't work with those jokes, because that's a chunk of what makes up. That's like 80% of the movie. But the problem is you don't want to talk too much about those, because if the movie you think is good, you're going to end up ruining like jokes in the movie, and you don't do that. You can't do that with comedies. You can't do that with horror either, especially with twists. Any movie that's got a big twist, you don't want to spoil. And there's actually a twist in this movie. This movie actually has its own twist. What do I think is what is my overall consensus of the film? It's a funny movie. I liked it. Is it the best comedy of the year? Well, saying it's actually the only comedy I've seen this year, I would agree with that. I don't think it's one of the best movies of the year. I've heard a lot of people kind of giving that regard, like, this film is that funny. I was rolling. I was sick with laughter. Maybe it was just because we had a pretty small screen or small viewing. There wasn't a lot of people there is what I was trying to say. I think like 12. If it was a big audience and we were laughing, then I probably might have been, that's the problem. Me and Mark had this problem when we saw A Million Ways to Die in the West. We actually very much liked the movie. The audience, we started laughing really, really hard at points, and then we kind of had to roll it back because other people weren't laughing as hard because they weren't finding it as funny, and that kind of made it a little awkward. So that might have been the case, because I didn't really hear a lot of people laugh out loud, but all the time. There were moments where everyone was like going, oh my God. And I'm even like going, oh, Jesus. Overall, though, no, it is a funny movie. All the actresses are fantastic. They have their own unique style, their own quirky personalities. You get one who's obsessed with, actually you get two who are kind of obsessed with sex. One of them is just open about it. The other has to hide it because she's engaged to a very, let's call it Puritan kind of guy. Let's call it pure. Let's call it pure guy. You get Aubrey, they're all good people, by the way, in terms of like who they are as people. But you get Aubrey, who's not conservative, not even say closeted or anything, but she's awkward in her own. There's a scene in Developing a Train where they go on the train, and this part I can kind of give away just a little bit. She's avoiding other people, like Chinese people, because she's been raised by the reason they end up in the cabin with the drug dealer in the trailer is because Aubrey's an idiot. Like she's not really an idiot. She's like a lawyer in the film, and a pretty good one, but she's socially and culturally an idiot. She couldn't figure out there was something shady with this person because she was white. And she's like, oh yeah, I've grown up against white people. I trust them. I don't trust Asian people. It's like, and everyone's just like watching, wow, you're racist against your own people. Like, what the hell? It's like, no, I'm not. It's like, that did that. Um, so yeah, and like there, and so she's trying to come to terms kind of with who she is, and then you have Deadeye, who is Deadeye. Deadeye is their own flavor of weird, but in a fun way, in a way where you grow to like them. Um, the film, but yeah, so they all kind of have the things they're working with, and like the goals they're working, and ultimately the things that they come to terms with. And I'll say this: when the movie is working, the movie's working. When the movie tells a joke that by all accounts is gut busting, I am literally just sitting there like oh dear God, no, stop it, no, like they keep doubling down. Some standout moments that I won't give any context to what's happening. I'll just say like the type of scene. The airport scene. We'll know it when you know it. The hotel scene. You'll know it when you know it. The train scene's pretty funny too. I'm trying to remember any other really like seriously funny scene that really had me kind of rolling at points. Pardon. Oh, excuse me. Oh, the bar scene. Yeah, the bar scene. So yeah, there's a lot, and like a lot of the jokes are really funny too. But I'm talking about like the real gut busters. Like those are some of the real gut busters. But there is kind of a message in the movie about finding who you are, reconciliation, and making peace with certain parts of your life. So the other parts of your life can flourish a little bit. And learning to move on, to adapt, and grow. And when they hit those notes well. There's a scene near the end where I was getting a bit emotional. Definitely getting a bit emotional, given the context and the subject matter. There's other jokes that, they're not just that just are just straight up funny. Like I won't say the context of the line. All you need to know is it goes, "You mean Grandpa?" No. That's it. That's all you need to know. Yeah. So and like these actresses have great chemistry with each other. They're very likable in their personalities, even when they're being a little bitchy. And that is part of the point of the movie is that they're points they are kind of being bitches to each other. They're being asses at points, except for Deadeye. Although I'll say this, Deadeye, I had a feeling Deadeye would grow on me. But at the beginning, I admit Deadeye did something where I'm like, not cool. Like seriously. But overall, Deadeye was fine. So yeah. With all of that said, is this film one of the best films of the year? No, probably not. I enjoyed myself, but it's probably not going to make my top 10. I'll actually say this. For everything I was hearing about how funny it is, I was surprised there wasn't more really gut-busting laughs. Like, there was good laughs, definitely. There's an ally, like a white guy talking to her, Audrey, about being an ally, and it's like, oh god, jeez, just stop, please stop. But I will admit, it's well paced, and all. There's like nothing really wrong with the film, and it's raunchy. Oh my god, is it raunchy? There is raunch in this, folks. Get ready to raunch hard in this film. Did they cross the line? Well, is the film good? Yeah, then no. But I don't know. There is something that didn't. There's something for me about the film. I still can't put my finger on quite what it is. Is that maybe there just wasn't enough laughs? And sometimes the characters, like I'm watching the characters, and I'm watching their interactions, and I'm watching how, like for instance, Lolo, I believe it's Lolo, right? Or is it Lulu or Lolo? Lolo. Lolo is the best friend to Audrey, the main character, is oftentimes trying to get her to go and look for a biological mother. And I am like wondering, like, is this more about her or more about you or more about both of you? And like you're pushing kind of hard on this, and I'm not like she seems fine without doing it. Obviously, they go and try to do it because that's one of the plots of the movie you get from the trailer. I'm not giving anything away there, but you need to kind of not push at points, lady. It's just it comes up a little controlling, like what you want more than what she wants, and that gets addressed. So, and there are other character traits about like Kate not being honest with her fiance about stuff. Deadeye's Deadeye kind of forcing themselves on the group, I don't really like because I've experienced that before. Not me forcing myself on some other people trying to force their way into my group of friends. And ultimately, sometimes that's worked out. I've had new friends. It's all good. But I've had other people just try and it does not work. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the characters. It's the fact that sometimes the characters were a little unlikable for me, but in a way that I understood why I wasn't like. Not like Helena from The Dial of Destiny, where there's no reason. They don't give a reason. Like at most they have like one line of explanation about why maybe she turned out the way she did. But otherwise, that character is deeply unlikable for the first half of that film, and then at best she becomes kind of neutral. Here, no one was inherently evil or unlikable. There were just points where I'm like, wasn't digging the actions they were doing, the actions they were taking, the way they were treating some of their friends or other people or whatnot. And maybe that's kind of what slowed it down for me a little bit. But it wasn't anything that detracted from the film ultimately. If you wanted my opinion on if you should go see this, absolutely. Definitely try to see it with a group of friends. I wish my friend, either my girlfriend or my other friend, hadn't canceled, because I have a feeling they would have a lot of fun. But look, they couldn't make it. It is what it is. I'm perfectly fine seeing a movie on my own. I've done it God knows how many years now, and I'll continue to do it even if I ever stop doing this channel. So, which I had no intention to. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the movie. I very much enjoyed it. It's some minor stuff that kind of went like, that didn't quite work for me. But overall, very funny, some gut-busting moments, a good message at the end, and a very funny end too. Very funny, which is a good callback end. Anyway, I digress. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have you seen the movie? What did you think of it? Put it in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Pokemon Team and, yeah, and box office. I just got an easy day tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. See you later.